So his approach to the Gita is based on this, and Bhakti Yoga is placed between karma and jnana in the middle because of its confidential nature, one reason, and because of its superiority by which it is able to give life to the other two, and because it is being most rare. So, three reasons. One is something which is very confidential, na? You keep it very safely, so it is protected by placing in the middle. Second, because of its superiority. And karma is placed in the first six chapters, and bhakti is placed in the middle, and jnana is placed in the last. Actually, karma without bhakti na is lifeless because there is bhakti present in the karma. That's why karma can give results. It's not karma itself which can give results. Jnana also cannot give its results. There is a bhakti element within that jnana which gives results of jnana. So that is why it gives life to both karma and jnana. If bhakti was placed in the beginning, then only it could give life to karma or jnana. But because it is placed in the middle, it gives life to both karma and jnana. So this is the second reason. And third, because it is very, very rare. Bhakti is very rare. So that is the third reason. Being placed in the middle, it is not so obvious. Since it is in the middle, it touches the other two, giving them life. If the chapters concerning bhakti were placed at the beginning or end, they would only touch one of the other topics, which I explained on. Therefore, it is protected by other two topics on the other side. Because it is very rare, it is protected from both sides. Just like, the queens who were in the olden times, carried in palanquin. In the front also, the army is to be there. And in the in the rear also the army is to be there, backside. So the queen is protected from both directions. So like that. And moreover, because these two are useless without bhakti, only being mixed with bhakti, they become acceptable. I mentioned this. Only karma yoga without a small element of bhakti, karma is futile. It doesn't give any results. Gyan also with the mixture of bhakti in that gyan, it gives the result. The bhakti which is present in that gyan gives the result. Gyan on its own doesn't give result. So bhakti is independent. It doesn't need the support of karma and gyan. But karma and gyan need the support of bhakti. Because karma and gyan cannot give their fruits without bhakti being present. Although bhakti takes a secondary role there. You have to understand this. There are two types of bhakti, Kevala bhakti, pure bhakti, and Pradhani Bhuta bhakti, a process predominated by bhakti. The first is independent and strong. This is pure bhakti. It is independent and strong. Whereas Pradhani Bhuta bhakti is predominant, but there is a mixture of karma, jnana, or there is ashtanga. And practically in the middle six chapters, we will be studying this Pradhani Bhuta Bhakti and Kevala Bhakti. In fact, only 7 or 9 verses in the middle six chapters speak about only Kevala Bhakti. Rest all types of bhakti which are presented in the middle six chapters are Pradhani Bhuta Bhakti. Either Karma Pradhan, Jnana Pradhan, Ashtanga Pradhan, you know. It is called as Karma Mishra Bhakti, Jnana Mishra Bhakti, Yoga Mishra Bhakti. There is Karma, Jnana, Yoga Mishra Bhakti, like that. So they are all Pradhani Bhuta Bhakti. And you'll all understand this as we discuss the middle chapter, six chapters, which is very, very important for us because we are in the path of bhakti. So, especially understanding the middle six chapters and even all the chapters of the Bhagavad Gita are very important because everywhere bhakti is only being glorified. Without the mixture of karma and gyan, it is pure and powerful. It is known by such terms as Ananya Bhakti and Akinchana Bhakti. Other names are Uttama Bhakti, Shuddha Bhakti, and Kevala Bhakti. All mean the same. In the Bhagavatam, the term is used as Nirguna Bhakti. Nirguna Bhakti. The second type is mixed with karma and gyan. All of this will be described later in the text. It will be described actually in the middle six chapters. So here I have drawn, first six chapters is Karma Yoga. Middle six chapters, there is Keval Bhakti, which is called as Ananya Bhakti. Krishna uses the term Ananya. And mostly Pradhani Bhukta Bhakti is discussed. And this bhakti which is there, where karma is pradhan. This is bhakti takes a secondary role. So that is, it is called as Guni Bhuta Bhakti. It is called as Guni Bhuta Bhakti. And the last six chapters also, how through this Guni Bhukta Bhakti one can attain liberation is mentioned. And in one sense, how Bhakti Yoga is superior to Jnana Yoga is also established. So what Krishna is doing in the Bhagavad Gita is, Krishna discusses basically these three paths, Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga, and he proves the superiority of Bhakti Yoga. And within the middle six chapters, Krishna speaks about Pradhani Bhuta Bhakti and Kevala Bhukta Bhakti, Kevala Bhakti, and he proves how Kevala Bhakti is superior to Pradhani Bhuta Bhakti. So ultimately, Krishna is propagating in the Bhagavad Gita Ananya Bhakti. And only by Ananya Bhakti one can attain Krishna. Of course, you can attain Krishna by Pradhani Bhuta Bhakti, but the result, we'll see that very beginning in the seventh chapter, we'll see. The result is not, Vrindavan and Vraj Krishna. You can attain result in Vaikuntha more, because the bhakti is mixed. It's, by karma and jnana or yoga. So this is what, and this bhakti, because karma is pradhan, jnana is pradhan, or yoga is pradhan, that's why it's called as karma yoga, jnana yoga, ashtanga yoga. But bhakti is a secondary, that is why it is called as Guni Bhuta Bhakti. It is called as Guni Bhuta Bhakti. So ultimately, there are these three divisions of Bhagavad Gita, Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, and Ashtanga Yoga. But in one sense, how Karma Yoga leads to Bhakti Yoga is established. Ultimately, the highest yogi is what? Yoginam api sarvesham madgaten antaratmana. And then how Jnana Yoga leads to Bhakti, So even in the Jnana section, only by practicing Bhakti, one can transcend the modes. Krishna establishes that. One can understand me only by Bhakti. Bhaktya, what is this, 15.19? Yomam eva sammudo janati purushottama sa sarvavid bhajate mam sarva bhavena bharata. 15.19. Yeah, correct. Yomam eva sammuda asammudo janati purushottam sa sarvavid bhajati mam sarva bhavena ma. One who, yah mam, understands asammuda without a doubt. Janati means to understand and to know that who I am Purushottama. So Sarvavit, he is the knower of everything. Bhajate. So even in the Jnana section, Krishna establishes how Bhakti Yoga is superior to, Jnana Yoga. So that's what he is also doing in the middle six chapters. So this is the last section, the Jnana section. And I'm just bringing out here the first six chapters which we studied. As I mentioned, Guni Bhuta Bhakti, a process in which Bhakti is a secondary element. So Krishna speaks about Sankhya in the second chapter, where there is analysis between matter and spirit. And ultimately, we are not this body, we are spirit soul. So there is the first application of, Atma Gyan is Sakama Karma, where, although you know that you are not the body, but still you have material desires and you want to follow the path of the Vedas in order to attain Swarga, So that is called as Sakama Karma. But there is a purification of the goal where no, I no more want results anything in this material world, but I want to attain liberation. So then it is yoga. And because you don't desire anything in this world, your karma is nishkama. So that's why it's called as nishkama karma yoga. The goal of nishkama karma yoga is to purify the heart and attain jnana. So in Nishkam Karma Yoga, there is Gyan that one should not desire fruits of this material world and desire liberation. And that is considered desireless from the Jnana perspective. Please remember, from the Jnana perspective. From Shuddha Bhakti perspective, no. And then this Jnana, when it matures, when one becomes a self-realized soul, then he takes up to the path of Jnana Yoga, which is more vividly described in the fifth chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. The Gyan is described more in the fourth chapter. The process of performing Nishkama Karma is described in the second chapter and the third chapter. And then by Gyan Yoga, one attains liberation. And with further purification of the heart, there is meditation on the Paramatma. Here, there is more of deliberation on the Paramatma. You know, by that process, these are like, Jnana Yoga and Ashtanga Yoga are similar paths, but there are little differences. Both lead to liberation, nirvana moksha, impersonal liberation, which is dealt in the fifth and the sixth chapter. Further, how by the process of Gyan Yoga one attains liberation is established in the last six chapters. And also, Krishna proves the superiority of Bhakti Yoga over Gyan Yoga. That's what Krishna does in the last six chapters. Now, as it was mentioned, Bhakti is of two types, Shuddha Bhakti, Kevala Bhakti, and Ananya Bhakti. So that is dealt in the middle seven chapters. So this is called as Kevala Bhakti, Ananya Bhakti, Uttama Bhakti, Akinchana Bhakti, Shuddha Bhakti, Nirguna Bhakti. I can write Nirguna Bhakti also here. I've just given the short terms here, but all mean the same. So this is based on Rupa Goswami's definition, Anyabhilashita Shunyam. And by practicing this Ananya Bhakti, one attains Golok Vrindavan in either of the four rasas, Dasya, Sakya, Vatsalya, and Madhuri. And there is Pradhani Bhuta Bhakti, in which Bhakti is the principal component, but it is mixed with Karma, Jnana, or Yoga. So Karma Mishra Bhakti is dealt in seventh chapter. Jnana Mishra Bhakti is also dealt in seventh chapter. Eighth chapter deals with Yoga Mishra Bhakti. And there are other different types of Karma, Jnana Mishra Bhakti, which are dealt in the other chapters of the middle six chapters of the Bhagavad Gita, which we will see more in detail. Let me offer my respects to Lord's Bhakti. Then now this is about the overview of the last six chapters. I have given an overview of the first six chapters. Now this is the overview of the last six chapters. Oh. Okay, let it be. Not much. Let me offer my respects to the Lord's Bhakti, which by its mercy resides within Jnana and other processes to a small degree in order to bring about success in those processes. So the last six chapters speak about Jnana. And within Jnana, by the Lord's mercy, Bhakti also resides there. And because Bhakti is residing in a small degree, that Bhakti gives success in the process of Jnana. Please remember that. In the last six chapters of the Gita, Jnana mixed with Bhakti is delineated. Jnana mixed with Bhakti. Within these six chapters, Kevala Bhakti is also shown indirectly to be supreme. I mentioned that. How Krishna 15.19 I mentioned. How Shuddha Bhakti is superior to Jnana Yoga. In the 13th chapter, the body where Jiva and the Paramatma reside, the practice of Jnana, the Jiva and Prakriti are described. So 13th chapter beginning, this he gives overview, Vishwanath Chakatakur. I'm just reiterating here. In the middle six chapters, it was mentioned that by Kevala Bhakti, one attains the Lord. In the middle six chapters, it is mentioned by Kevala Bhakti, one attains Bhagavan, and the other three methods of worship, starting with worship of oneself, were then described. So there are other methods of worship also, which are not direct bhakti. They are like more indirect bhakti. Liberation arising from Gyan mixed with bhakti practiced by followers of Nishkama Karma Yoga, that is first six chapters, and the process of Gyan were briefly described in the first six chapters. These were described in the first six chapters. The third six chapters means chapter 13 to chapter 18. Explain this Gyan in detail by first examining the field, the knower of field, the process of knowledge, and the object of knowledge. So, Gyan, in the process of Gyan to attain liberation, you have to become familiar with, the terminologies of which the Gyanis use. Like somebody is in the computer field, he should know their terminologies, what is a processor, what is a, chip, and all that. So, there is the Kshetra and there is the Kshetragya. All this will come up in the last six chapters. And there is Jnana. and this is called as Geha. These are very technical terms, but one philosophical terms, I can say. So that's how I complete the discussion on the overview or the perspective of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti when he presents his Bhagavad Gita. So now, if you have any questions on what we have discussed up till now, I would like to take up any questions, any clarifications you have up till now, what we have discussed. Any questions on Vishwanath Chakravarti's approach to the Bhagavad Gita? Were you able to follow this or no? Or was it a little difficult? Those who have first time attended will definitely know it well. We have discussed that before also. Yeah, any questions, any clarifications anyone has? No, okay. So now let's see how many verses we can cover. I'm just going to cover the flow of the first chapter. I'm not going to go into detail. This is just an overview. For the detailed classes, verse by verse, you can refer to the entire series. So the first chapter has around 46 verses, and the first section from verse 1 to 26, the title is Observing the Armies. And based on that, some of the acharyas give their title as Sainya Nireksha Yoga. That's what also Prabhupada gives the title, I think, let's see. Yeah, observing the armies on the battlefield of Krishna. Sainya Nireksha. Nireksha means to observe. Yoga, you know. So, and seeing this, Arjuna falls in illusion and he starts lamenting. So, Arjuna's lamentation begins from 27 to 46. And this section is called as the Arjuna Vishada Yoga. The Arjuna Vishada Yoga. So Vishwanath Thakur, based on the second part, he gives the title for his chapter of the first chapter of the Bhagavad Gita as Arjuna Vishada Yoga. And even in the Gita press book, Arjuna Vishada Yoga only is mentioned. So, but Baldev Vidyabhushan gives the title as Sainya Niriksha Yoga. It doesn't matter, based on acharyas, they differ. So the titles of the chapters are given by the acharyas. Vyasdev has done the, chapter divisions and he has also given titles, but sometimes the acharyas also give their own titles. So the first section is preparations for war. I'll just go through these verses. The Bhagavad Gita begins with, Dhritarashtra inquiring from his Sanjay secretary before the war begins, because Dhritarashtra is very perplexed. He is concerned what will be the result of this battle, because he has a personal agenda. He wants to win so that his sons can rule. So that's why it begins with his inquiry to Sanjay. Dhritarashtra vacha dharmashetre kurukshetre samaveta yuyutsava bhamaka pandavaschaiva kimmakurvata Sanjaya. So Dhritarashtra said, "Oh Sanjaya, what did my sons and the sons of Pandu do? Kim mamaka pandavaschaiva kurvata." What did they do? Do is, the verb, no? Action. So he is separating his sons, Mamaka, my sons, and the sons of Pandus, because they all belong to the Kuru dynasty only. But there was, this division because Pandu was younger, Dhritarashtra was elder, and Dhritarashtra should have inherited the kingdom, but he was blind, so he's not qualified to become a king. So the kingdom went to the Pandu king Pandu, and later on it had to be inherited by the sons of Pandu. But there was this whole history which is there. You can refer setting to the scene. Prabhupada has given the entire history. So now, because of this fratricidal war, that is a war within the family, there is, Dhritarashtra is discriminating Mamaka and Pandava. What did my sons do? Samaveta, having gathered with the desire to fight Yutsava at Kurukshetra, place of Dharma. Dharma Kshetre, Kurukshetra. So, Vishwan Chakra Thakur mentions, where is the question, what did they do? If they come to fight, they will fight. Then why did Dhritarashtra ask like this? Because externally he did not want to show, his inner feelings. His inner feelings were that, Bhishma is on our side. Nobody can kill Bhishma. Drona is on our side. Let the battle happen and, we will win. But externally to show, no, 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 no. Actually, the there should be a truce because they have assembled in Dharma Kshetra, which is Kurukshetra. Kurukshetra, Dharma Kshetra. And he had fear that in this Dharma Kshetra, Yudhishthira are pious. So they might think why we should fight with our brothers. So if they give up their claim, he would be happy because his sons will get the kingdom. But on the other hand, he did not want his sons who were not pious, who were not virtuous, because they were in the holy place, Dharma Kshetra, they might think, Arey, their heart should not transform and say, why we should fight with our brothers? Let us give the kingdom back. That Dhritarashtra did not want. Dhritarashtra, Dhrita means one who holds on to his kingdom, one who is very attached king. So he was attached to his sons and he himself was attached to the kingdom. So he had a personal agenda, but it is not good to show such feelings, outside. So that's why, whether there is a truce, externally he wants to show that there should be a truce, but internally he doesn't want the truce to happen. So that's why he is asking, Kim Makurutanda, what did they do? Although he's saying, they have assembled to come to fight. So that's what. And the import of Dharma Kshetra, Kurukshetra is very deep. Just like in a fertile field, the grains are sown and the rice, there is a rice paddy which grows. Along with that, there are weeds, and the farmer cuts the weeds so that the rice paddy can grow. Similarly, the grains of dharma are being sowed in the battlefield of Kurukshetra by Krishna, who is the father of dharma. And the dharmic virtuous persons like Yudhishthira should rule so that dharma can prevail. And the adharmic Kauravas, who are demonic, should be cut off, should be killed. So this was the Lord's plan, which Dhritarashtra did not understand, although he's saying Dharma Kshetra Kurukshetra. That's the deeper meaning of Dharma Kshetra Kurukshetra. Now, having asked this question, Sanjay replies, Sanjay uvacha dhruštva tu pandavanikam yudam duryodanastada acharyam upasangamya raja vachanam abravit. Sanjay said, seeing the array, Drushtva Vyudam. Vyudam means the viewed Rachana. There are different types of arrangement of the armies, given in the Kshatriya code of conduct, the Kautilya Shastras. There is the Rachana in the form of tortoise, in the form of a bow, just to attack the enemy in a better way. So seeing this array of, arranged by the army of the Pandavas, Drushtva Vyudam, of the Pandavas' troops, Pandava Anikam, Duryodhan, Tada Raja Duryodhan, approached his trainer, teacher Drona, Acharya Upasangamya, and spoke these words. Vachanam Abravet. So Duryodhan practically became fearful. We know that there were 18 Akshoni Sena, and this Akshoni is a huge calculation. 53,000 elephants, 53,000 horses, so much, I don't recollect. It is there in the Mahabharata. And so much army, all this, constitutes one Akshoni, something like that is mentioned. So the Kauravas had 11 Akshoni Sena on their side, and the Pandavas had only 7. Duryodhan was surprised how these Pandavas who were in exile were able to amass such a huge army. And it was arranged by Drushtadumna, who was the commander-in-chief of the Pandavas. So expertly arranged. It will come up in the next verse. How? And he became fearful. And he approached Dronacharya not to take his blessings, but out of fear, he went near Dronacharya. And he spoke these words. And these words, what he spoke, they are out of fear. So his fear is revealed in 9 verses, Vishwanath Chakra Thakur says. And Raja, basically, he was not the king. He was Yuvraj. King was Dhritarashtra. But Raja, he's addressed as Raja because he is expert in Rajniti, and he'll reveal his expertise in Rajniti from the coming verses. Now, actually, Duryodhan starts speaking, but there is no Duryodhan Uvacha. Somehow he's most unfortunate. At least Dhritarashtra got the mercy of Vidura, and ultimately he took up, to the path of spiritual life, and ultimately by the process of mystic yoga, he attained liberation. But Duryodhan was, you know, did not get the mercy of the Lord, and he died, very uh, you can say he died a very pitiable death, you can say. you know. So his name is not taken here in the Gita, but actually Duryodhana is speaking. What? Pashyetam Pandu Putranam Achara Mahatim Chamum Yudam Drupada Putrena Tava Shishyena Dhimata. So his expertise in Rajniti is here. O teacher, Acharya, see this great army. Pashya. Pashya means see. Now his fear is revealed. See this great army. Mahatim Chamum. Chamum means again the arrangement of the army. Of the sons of Pandu, Pandu Putranam, arranged for battle, Vyudam, by your intelligent disciple, Tava Shishyena Dhimata, the son of Drupada, Drupada Putrena. So his Rajaniti is one, Tava Dhimata Shishyena. And he's addressing his Shishya not by his name, Drushtadumna, but the son of Drupada. Because Drupada and Dronacharya had some differences and they had internal clashes. So he wanted to incite anger of Dronacharya so that he can fight with full valor, because both Dronacharya and Bhishma heart was not in the battle because they loved the Pandavas. But now he is using his Rajniti, political words in order to incite the anger of Dronacharya, and that's why he's saying Tava Dhimata Shishyena. Now, Vishwanath Chandra Thakur, in his footnotes, or Banu Maharaj, mentioned that how Drupad and Dronacharya were both in the same Gurukul, but Drupada was a king's son and Dronacharya was a poor Brahmana son. But they were very friendly, and out of friendship, once Drupad told, my dear friend, whenever you need anything, you can always come to me. And both passed out of the Gurukul and went in their life. Now, Drupad became a great king. Dronacharya was a simple Brahmana and he was very poor, and he had his son. His son is Ashwatthama. He was very affectionate to his son, and he did not even have a cow so that he could give him milk. And the children were teasing. They had put a white chalk or white what is it? White. It's called as white cement. Chuna. Chuna is. I'm not able to recollect the English name. Anyone can type it. So they mixed it in water and they say, drink, this is milk, drink, this is milk. So when he saw this, he felt very afflicted. And he went directly to Drupad, my dear friend, my dear friend. He went in the assembly, Brahmana. But Drupada felt, superiority complex. How can there be friendship? Friendship is only with equals. So he insulted the Brahmana, Dronacharya. So Dronacharya later on became the martial teacher for the Kauravas and the Pandavas. And when he taught them, then he asked the Dakshina. He said, go and arrest, have a battle war with Drupad and arrest him. Now, Duryodhana, out of his false ego, said, no, I will go and do this. But he went and he lost. But then Yudhishthira, headed by Arjuna, went and they, arrested and got him. And then, Dronacharya said, I'm releasing you. Give half of the kingdom. So Drupad felt insulted after being released also, and he performed an yagya in which the Brahmanas offered a ahuti. They did this yagya because he wanted a son who will kill Dronacharya. And from the yagya, a chariot, golden chariot with horses and a personality, Drushtadumna appeared with his bow and arrow. showing his martial art display. And there was a Akashvani, a rumbling of the clouds. The sound came that this son of Drupada will be in future will be the cause of killing Drona. And everyone knew, the news spread, and even Dronacharya came to know about it. Also in the Ahuti, the Brahmana said there is some more fella coming from the Ahuti, and a daughter appeared, and that is Draupadi. So ultimately, Draupadi married to the five sons of Pandu. So that's the history. So, although Dronacharya knew that, I will be killed by, Drushtadumna, but yet being a liberal Brahmana, he trained, Drushtadumna in the martial arts. In fact, he trained him much better than his son. And he loved more Arjuna, and he gave him the Brahmastra weapon because Arjuna was qualified, you know. So, because of your intelligent disciple who has arranged this, that is the cause now for my defeat. Indirectly, he's sarcastically, addressing addressing Dronacharya again to incite his anger, and he's telling Pashya. Now, this Pashya is very important because the student or the Shishya is telling the teacher, Acharya, see, Pashya. The teacher cannot see what? The teacher is more learned. So here it is not a etiquette, but Duryodhan out of fear and anger, he's breaching that etiquette. And out of fear, now he's using his Rajniti in order to incite the anger. So here his anger, his fear emotions are revealed. Now, in the next verse, two verses, it is mentioned how Dronacharya says, this is a small army, we can easily defeat it. No, he says, there are great, great warriors here, and he starts describing them. Atra Shura Maheshwasa Bhimarjuna Samayudhi Yuddhano Viratascha Drupadascha Maharata Drushtaketuscha Kitana Kashirajasya Viravan Purjit Kunti Bhojascha Shaibascha Narpungava Yuddhamanyascha Vikranta Uttamojascha Viryavan Saubhadro Draupadeyascha Sarva Eva Maharata. Hey, this is a small army, we can easily defeat. Dronacharya might tell, Duryodhan. But no, there are great Maharatas. Atra means here. Shura means there are brave men. Here are brave men, skillful in great bows. Maha Ishvasa. And they are Bhima Arjuna Samayudhi. They are equal to Bhima and Arjuna in battle. And he's comparing to Bhima and Arjuna because Bhima and Arjuna their names need not be taken because they were very powerful. And these are equal to Bhima and Arjuna. And especially Duryodhan was fearful of Bhima because Bhima had taken a vow to kill all the sons, 100 sons of, Dhritarashtra. And who are they? Samayadi, Yuyudhanu. Yuyudhanu is Sataki. And there is Virat. And Drupadascha Maharata. There is King Drupad. The father also has come now. The father-in-law, and they are Maharata. And then there is Drishtaketu and Chekitana. And they are valorous kings. Veeravan. There is Purujit, Kunti Bhoja and Shaiba. Purujit, Kunti Bhoja, Shaibasya. They are Narapungava. So he's addressing these kings with the adjective, which is called as epithet in English, So he's addressing them. Here is the mighty Yuddhamanyu. Yuddhamanyascha Vikranta. Vikranta means he's mighty or one who cannot be defeated. Valiant Uttamojasa. Uttamojasa Veeravan. Abhimanyu, the sons of and the five sons of Draupadi. Saubhadro. Saubhadro is son of Subhadra, which is Abhimanyu, who was killed. He was just 16 years old. Draupadeyascha. Draupadeyascha means the five sons of Draupadi from Pandavas. And there were other sons also from the other wives, like Bhima had married Hidimba and Ghatotkacha was born. And all are Maharathas. So his fear, Atrashura, see here, all these mighty. So his fear is, he's exhibiting his fear, seeing all these great, great warriors. Now, Duryodhan is realizing that if I start showing all my fears, then my side people also will become more fearful. So I should hide my fears. I should not show it. Let me speak about my army. So then he starts speaking about his own army. अस्माकं तु विशिष्टाये तान् निबोध द्विजोत्तम नायका मम सैन्यस्य संज्ञार्थं तान् ब्रवीमि ते. So here he's saying asmakam means, where it is, asmakam. Yeah, our side. Our side, asmakam. Tu vishishtaye. I will tell you those who are vishishta, those who are special on my side. Ta Niboda. Niboda means try, I'll make you understand. O best of the Brahmanas. Dvija Uttama. So now he is glorifying Dronacharya with the epithet Dvija Uttama. O best among the Brahmanas. So he's trying to pump him in one sense, you can say, in a general way. Although that's not a polished language, I can say, in order to, you know, increase his pride so that he can ultimately fight full-heartedly in the battlefield. There are Nayaka, there are commanders in my Mama Sainyasya Nayaka, they are great commanders. Samgyartam Tanbavi, I will list them, Bravimime, so that you can completely understand. Gyartam means to understand, Samgyartam means you can completely understand. Samyak Rupena Gyatam, Samgyartam. So he hides his fears, and I will tell you, O Dvijatama, the great commanders in my army, and I will make you completely understand. And he starts now narrating that. Bhavan Bhishmasya Karnasya Kripasya Samitinjaya Ashwathama Vikarnasya Somadatter Tataivacha. So first, you know, I told that Duryodhan is using his Rajaniti, you know. And in his mind, now it is going on whose name I should take first, whether Drona or Bhishma, because Bhishma is the commander in chief. You know, Bhishma was first the commander in chief, and after Bhishma fell, it was Drona. And Bhishma is undefeatable; nobody can defeat him. You know, and Duryodhana had full faith in Bhishma that it's only by Bhishma will win this war. So he wanted to take Bhishma's name first. But at the same time, he wanted Drona also on his side because he knew that Drona had affection to the Pandavas, especially Arjuna. So whose name to take first? And then he calculates in his mind, oh, Bhishma is a Kshatriya, and Drona is a Brahmana. So first the Brahmana should be given respect. So let me first take your name. And he addresses him as Bhavan, yourself. It's a very, very respectful address, you can say. In Hindi, especially in English also, and Hindi is much better English. How the children address their parents, it's not a respectful address. So there is a lot of respect in Sanskrit. So the Sanskrit address is very, very interesting. So Bhavan, there is yourself, Bhishma. Then he takes the name of Bhishma and Karnascha. Now, interestingly, Karna is not on the battlefield. In fact, Karna is in the battlefield, but Bhishma, feels that Duryodhan has the audacity to challenge Pandavas who are protected by Krishna. It is going to destroy the entire Kuru dynasty. So Bhishma, as a last resort, he hurls words at Duryodhan, you know, and Karna, he insults Karna there because it is because of Karna only he had confidence. If no one was, at heart with Duryodhan, but Karna was with him, and because he had manipulated Karna by giving him, he was a Sutaputra, although he was the son of Kunti, but he gave him, the status of a king. And because he was elevated, but still, although Duryodhana was immoral, he sided on Duryodhana's side. That was wrong on part of Karna. So Karna was definitely, Duryodhana had complete faith in the loyalty of Karna. So Karna felt insulted by the words of Bhishma, and he said, as long as Bhishma is on the battlefield, I'll not enter the battlefield, and he left the battlefield. So Karna was not on the battlefield, but Karna was very much on the mind of Duryodhana. So he took his name. And suddenly he realized, my goodness, there are so many other elders who are great commanders, and I have taken the name of Karna. So now he takes the name of Kripacharya. And he glorifies Kripacharya as Samintinjaya. There are yourself, Bhishma. Sorry, one second. No. One second. Okay. So after taking Karna's name, then he said, oh, what have I done? Karna is not on the battlefield. So he says, oh, there is Kripacharya. He's very senior, and he had come from the Dwarka. Dwarka sent one Akshoni Sena along with the commander. So he glorifies Kripacharya, so Samitinjaya, the winner of wars. Actually, Kripacharya he did not have a knowledge of celestial weapons, and he would have never won the war. You know? So this is a false glorification because, Rajniti, in trying to glorify Karna, he tries to adjust by glorifying Kripacharya as Samitinjaya. And there is Ashwathama. Vikarna. Vikarna was the one who had, you know, raised his voice when Draupadi was got in the assembly to be stripped naked. And he spoke based on dharma, and everyone applauded his speech. Karna somehow subdued him. So somehow he felt Vikarna was, the brother of Duryodhan, and maybe he had a soft stand towards the Pandavas. So that also, in order to cut that, he took the name of Vikarna. And then there is Burishava, the son of Somadatta. So that is how yeah, he takes this. We will stop here. It's 8:22. And if you have any questions up till now, I can take up any questions, any clarifications up till now. If we have what we have discussed. Do you have any questions on that? Tomorrow we'll continue and finish the first chapter. As of now, do you have any questions? Any questions? Any clarifications? These verses and any questions, even if you have about the perspective of Gita, which is from Vishwanath Chakra Thakur's perspective, which we studied in the beginning. Any questions on that? Okay, so then if you don't have any questions, then we have another 7 minutes and I can finish one section so that tomorrow we can begin with the next section. So I'll just take 2, 3 verses, which are very simple. So now Duryodhan's fear is, that if I miss somebody's name, they might become upset. So then he, in general, speaks this verse: Annecha bahava shura madar tekta jivita nana shastra praharana sarve yuddha visharada. There are also many other brave men. Annecha bahava shura. Shura means brave, who have given up their lives for my sake. Madar tekta jivita. Excuse me. Madarte Tekta Jivita. What Duryodhan intends to say is that they are ready to give my lives. But Saraswati, comes on his tongue and she speaks that they have already given up their lives. That means the outcome of the battle will be that all these who are siding, all the Kauravas will be killed. And Krishna also in the 11th chapter, Mayeva Vihitana Tena Nimitta Matra Bhavya Savasachi. I have already killed them. In the Vishwarup, he shows that darshan. I have already killed all these Kaurava. You become an instrument, O Sabyasachi. So already the result is predicted. Madherte Tekta Jivita, who have given up their lives for my sake. And who are these? Skillful at fighting. Sarve Yuddha Visharada, armed with various missiles and weapons of combat. Nana Shastra Praharana. Next. अपर्याप्तं तदस्माकं बलं भीष्माभिरक्षितुं पर्याप्तं त्व इदम् एतेषां बलं भीमाभिरक्षितम्. Now I guess I will not discuss this verse. There is only another. Oh, yeah, signs of victory starts from 14. Huh? I will not discuss this verse. Tomorrow we'll leave it because there is a very Rasika explanation given by Srila Vishwanath Chakra Thakur on this. So I would like to go more in detail tomorrow on this, and time does permit me to continue. So we will stop here now and take up the discussion, continue the discussion tomorrow. But anyway, if anyone has any questions, they are free to ask now also. No questions? Okay. So tomorrow we will complete the first chapter overview and then we'll start with the second chapter overview. Second chapter is very, very long. It might take 2 classes or 3 classes. Let us see how it goes. Then we'll go to the third chapter, go to the fourth chapter, go to the fifth chapter. So maybe around 8, 10 classes, we will discuss the overview, and then we will begin with the what is it? The seventh chapter. Okay. Thank you very, very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Hare Krishna.